Hey everybody, short and sweet video. It's the end of the month. Sorry for the poor lighting in this. I just could not get the figures to pop as much as I wanted to. But anyway, so this is a base of Romans that I completed for the early Imperial Army. These are Steve Saleh's sculpts from War Games Foundry. Yeah, some of these figures were painted a long time ago. It's just finishing the unit off. So I think the front left and the back right corner figures are the newer ones. You'll notice that the pilum on the back rear figure is a little bit different. That's because he was a donation from a friend who cuts off the white metal piler. So I just put a plastic one in there. Looks a little bit naff, but I don't think it'll be noticed much in the group. So yeah, that's another base done for that army, and it just allows me to move on and get that rebasing project done. At this point, I'm just adding bits and pieces here and there. And then a base of Parthian horse archers. These are new line design figures. Wonderful sculpts, actually. They're a little bit bland. Like the hands are pretty awful on the figure on the left there. But again, nice and colorful. I didn't spend too much time on these. I kind of gave it best effort. Try to make them look nice and colorful, and I relied heavily on washes to just kind of get things moving. So I used some glazes and such on the little tassels and any straps and so on. You can spend hours on these guys if you really want to, but I just don't think it's worth it for what is essentially just generic horse archer number 3. So yeah, great figures. That means I've painted up all my new line design Parthian horse archers, which is 5 bases of 2 per base, which are done. So I'm happy with that. Just again chipping away at the lead mountain, hoovering up bits and pieces here and there, and you can always use horse archers. They're pretty versatile and appear in many armies. Other than that, for the month, I just give you a little view here of what's up on the table. So I've got some Grenadier Guards for the Crimean project that I'm working on at the moment. The pain here is that I like the base coat in black, and then getting the red coats done is a bit of a nightmare. So I'm in the process of doing trousers and tunics, having done the skin and the washes on that. You'll see some pike and shot stuff here. We've been playing a game, playtesting the Renaissance variant of Control to Catastrophe, which is a recently released game from Decisive War Game Design. And anyway, so we played a Renaissance game on Sunday. It was fantastic, and hopefully I'll share some snaps of that with you another time. But I have these. I think I showed these off a couple of months ago, so I decided to just pull them out and start getting them done. And then again, Russians on the table. There's always Russians on the table. They're a bit, the one thing about the Russians that I knew would be a problem is they are very, very, very uniform, and that can be very tedious. So in lieu of an airbrush, which I think would be the ultimate way to paint these, it's just a little bit slower than I was hoping for, but we're getting there, and hopefully soon we'll have a base of Russians to show. And then beyond that, honestly, this month has been a lot of travel for work, so not as much painting as I'd like. But I've been picking up bits and pieces wherever I go, so I picked up some BattleTech stuff. Whenever I travel to a town, I always visit the local hobby store, if there is one, and spend some money there just as a kind of way to give back. Make sure these businesses do survive. They provide a function in our towns and cities and such. So I was at a store in Austin, in Texas, and I bought this little salvage box. I think it was $8 or something. It's a mercenary thing. I'm not a huge BattleTech player, but I kind of have a soft spot for it. I just like Mech Warrior, to be honest. So what I bought that, and then I bought my wife a board game as well. Again, as I say, making sure that I frequent the local haunts. But yeah, the BattleTech stuff's really nice. I think what I'll do probably is just paint and oil wash to complete the figures. And there's a guy in my club who's a bit of a BattleTech guy, and I have a few bits and pieces. I think a couple of months ago I showed a little starter box that I picked up. So it's not something I'm devoting a lot of time to, but it's a way to spend money at stores on something that I care about, kind of marginally. I got an Innisphere Direct Fire Lance as well. This was at a different store. This was in No, this was also in Austin, but a different visit. See, I've been to Austin twice in the last month. So yeah, I got these figure. They figures just look really cool. They're 6 mil, so I think you could even do something weird and do like a World War Two type thing if you really wanted to. And then I got this box in Indianapolis last week. It's a Clan Command Star. Again, I just picked the ones that looked the coolest. Really nice store actually, Saltire, in Indianapolis. Well worth a visit if you're ever in that town, in that city. So check it out.